get everything situated. Welcome to Agua Dulce, Texas, home of the Lady Longhorns in Nueces County. I always try to find out where all of these schools are, but it's Nueces County. And looking around, just seeing Agua Dulce Lady Horns. And our Skidmore-Tynan Lady Cats come into town 2-3, taking on the Lady Horns 4-2. So a very big game, although only 5 games. This is the 6th game of 14, so not urgency. Looking at Skidmore-Tynan at 2-3, it could easily be 4-1. It could be 3-2. Skidmore-Tynan starting off with a victory against Port Aransas, and then a loss to Refugio, followed by Woodsboro, and then a victory against Yorktown against the Kitty Cats, and then a loss against Kennedy and the Leopards. And that's where we stand at 2-3. And we'll look at some of the other standings in just a little bit. Again, folks, I'm either fighting the sun, I'm fighting the wind, or I'm fighting location. So I figured you guys can just pretend you're in a hurricane right now. Every time I come here, it's wide open here. There's nothing blocking us. And so wherever I stand, I would rather have the wind than no internet. So I'm going to be positioned right here. Right now the Lady Cats are huddled up. And La Bamba kicks in. But I got to talk a little bit, and you probably can't even hear the music anyway. But the copyright guys always have a way to find the music. And then we're restricted in some nations. But looking at their coach, there's Coach Gonzalez coming up in her crutches and little by little moving faster and faster. But Skidmore-Tynan again, 11-7, 2-3 in district. Tonight's lineup, tonight's schedule: Skidmore-Tynan at Agua Dulce, again 2-3 at 4-2. Woodsboro 5-1 is at Kennedy 4-2. Refugio undefeated at 5-0. At Port Aransas 1-5. And Pettis, gotta fold my paper just right, fighting the wind. Pettis 0-4 at Yorktown 1-5. On the baseball side here on this March day, Refugio 3-1 at Skidmore-Tynan 0-4, and that game is going to be brought to you by Mike Chambers on ST Bobcat Nation Facebook. Pettis 1-3 at Kennedy 3-1. Agua Dulce at 4-0 at Port Aransas 4-0. That's a big game, undefeated right there in baseball. Woodsboro 1-3 at Yorktown 0-4. So 4 games of softball, 4 games of baseball. Thus the 8-team district at 32A, which makes for 7 games for Skidmore-Tynan on the road and 7 games at home. That's the 14 games, and so we've still got a long district season remaining, but you got to get on track. And right now, Agua Dulce is at a 4-2 pace, 4-2. Skidmore-Tynan 2-3, trying to even up at 500 on the season as far as district goes. And throughout the game today, we'll talk a little bit about some of the other action. Again, Skidmore-Tynan Bobcat baseball at home at 6 o'clock tonight on ST Bobcat Nation Facebook. That'll be brought to you by Mike Chambers. So you guys can have Facebook going, and also right here at ST Lady Cat Nation YouTube. Again, welcome. And taking the field are the Agua Dulce Lady Horns. And I may struggle just to get my equipment tied down and anchored down, but I will. I'm not looking into the sun. I'm kind of looking south. So if you kind of want to feel as to where we are located, if you look straight, If you keep going straight a few blocks, you'll hit 44, and if you turn left, you'll be heading east toward Banquetti about 7 miles, and on to Robstown, and eventually out to Cal Allen. If you turn right a few blocks straight ahead, you will go to Alice, and of course enter Jim Wells County. So I'm going to try to be as close as I can to, and hanging on for dear life for my camera. And again, I apologize if I mute, you won't hear me. You can kind of see by the wind the way it's blowing, and it was that way last season, last year, and when Skidmore-Tynan came to Agua Dulce. Skidmore-Tynan had already clinched a playoff berth, and they came in to Agua Dulce with really nothing to win, and Agua Dulce took the victory. But the more important thing is I remember Coach Calvis, athletic director, offered me sandbags just to but I don't have sandbags. I got a bag, and that's my bag, and also my hand holding down my tripod. I do have something coming from Amazon, and I copied, kind of like I copied Ray Ramirez with the microphones during football season. I also went and got myself a little, well, you'll see it, and maybe if Amazon cooperates with our 2-day delivery, I'll have it for Friday night, and that is a different view or perspective and a shield from the wind. Otherwise, but anyway, here we go. We're going to get going underway, and it'll be Alexis Flores leading off the top of the first for Skidmore-Tynan. On the mound, Jalissa Ramirez, number 4 at the pitcher. Here we go. A lefty up to bat. That's a ball outside. I love that. First of all, the sun is to my right. That's why I'm looking south. So that's not a problem. It's just the wind. And I get to see the scoreboard, and hopefully it'll be up to date. Well, yeah, 1 ball, no strikes with Jalissa Ramirez on the mound. So 1-1 on a swing and a miss. At first is Gutierrez. We'll get to know the Lady Horns as we progress, and welcome if you're Lady Horns, Lady Longhorns, Lady Cats. Again, Alexis Flores. That's high. No runners on, so no. Of course, Jalissa's going like that one got away from me, and yes, it did. Now, one thing though with the wind is my friend John Ramirez over to my right indicating it's coming straight at me, so I hope the microphone on this side helps a little bit, but the wind is blowing in the dirt. So 3-1 the count, so let's see if Alexis elects to take the next pitch. We'll see what happens here early in this game with Ramirez on the mound. Jalissa. And that's going to put Alexis Flores on first on a walk. Coach West at first. And it'll be Natalie Ramirez coming up to the plate. And right-hander facing up. Ramirez against Ramirez. And she bunts one way back to the stands and has become quite an expert at the bunt as Natalie Ramirez. She's done great, advancing runner after runner. And that's a big part of softball and baseball, is being able to nail that bunt. Let's see what Coach Gonzalez, Duran, and West have up their sleeve on this second one. Again, it's blowing like crazy here. It's in my eyes right now. I hope I can see the whole game. And there's a bunt. She lays it down nicely, and it is out. But a sacrifice. And now she's going to have to take off there. She got her. Oh, boy. a little indecisive on the rounding third was Alexis Flores. That's a double play. Out at first, and the tag out at third. 2 outs for Skidmore-Tynan. And now to the plate is Brogan Schmidt, number 8. You gotta think a little bit more on those base running. The sacrifice was there to advance the runner to second, but the runner took off and stopped about halfway, and by that time the first baseman, number 23 Gutierrez, sending it over to third, and I'll get third base, who tagged him out a little bit. I don't have all their numbers right now. Swing and a miss. Looks like number 21 in third. That was Andre Loera. Heads up from Gutierrez to tag out Alexis Flores. So a double play here in the top of the first. You got to either commit and take off, or you back off and head back to second. That did not happen. Wild pitch. Now it is 2-1. The count with 2 outs to Brogan Schmidt. Here in the top of the first. The bunt, which was successful, but Gutierrez then taking the out at first and swinging it over to third, and Loera tagging out the runner. And now 3-1, so Skidmore-Tynan hoping to get a 2-out rally. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, nobody on. Count, 2 outs, so Ramirez on the mound with a put out at first to Gutierrez on the attempted bunt. It was a successful bunt, but then the tag out over at third by Loera on the toss from Gutierrez is where we're at right now, and Skidmore-Tynan down to their either a walk here or and there she goes. That's going to be way out. Backing up nicely, backing up. Gutierrez was number 5. Gonzalez. Otherwise, Schmidt is heading to second. So Gonzalez with a nice backup to the first base. Gutierrez. And now Jolie Man. This looks like it's coming at us. So a disadvantage to the batters. Schmidt is on first. Jolie Man to the plate, pitching. Swing and a miss. Wanted to put this one out of the park. Again, I apologize. There's always going to be, well, maybe not always, if you get all the advanced equipment, which I'm planning to get a little more equipment, hopefully in a couple of days, maybe by Thursday. We'll have other options in which to bring this to you. And it's a pop-up to the pitcher, Ramirez, and she drops it. It's fair, and they're going to be runners at second and third. And that one just dropped on Julissa Ramirez. And now Ali Hernandez will come with runners in scoring position, and a courtesy runner is Alyssa Recio at second. So with 2 outs, we were at 3-2 full count with 2 outs, and Brogan Schmidt keeping it alive. And actually, it was a strikeout credited to Ramirez Jalissa, but because the catcher didn't maintain control or catch the pitch behind them, Haley Estinhel, then what happens is the batter can take off, and then it was an overthrow to Gutierrez. Gonzalez there nicely. And then Jolie Man on a straight up shot to the pitcher, but it was missed. And that goes back in the back. So with that 0-1, Julissa Ramirez up on the count. Again, a very important at-bat for Ali Hernandez. Skidmore-Tynan leaving the bases loaded with nobody coming in the last game against Kennedy, and you don't want to leave anybody on base, but a lot of that took place in the Kennedy game. Strike call so quickly. Julissa Ramirez up on Ali Hernandez, 0-2. Schmidt on second, and the courtesy runner Horacio on second. Big pitch. Trying to stay alive here. Skidmore-Tynan. And now it's tapped to the right side, foul. She stays alive, does Ali Hernandez. Isabella Galindo, number 18, retrieving the ball on the far side. That's where we need ball boys, or ball girls. Again, Estine Hell. I'm getting to know the Lady Longhorns. Estine Hell behind the plate. Ramirez on the mound. Gutierrez at first. You have Gonzalez at second. And here comes Brogan Schmidt for a first run for Skidmore-Tynan on a wild pitch. So Brogan Schmidt, who was at 3-2 just a moment ago, keeps it alive and brings a run in. Brings in the first run, does Brogan Schmidt. On to third is Elisa Recio. Staying alive is Hernandez. Again, you're getting a hurricane effect. I don't know what you want to call this. Hurricane. Give it a name. Everything has a name, right? That's up high. Good eye there by Ali Hernandez. So 2-2 the count with 2 outs, 1 runner on. All of this begins with 2 outs with a full count. And Brogan Schmidt keeping it alive actually got struck out. Steinhell could not handle the third strike. Off to first she goes, and Jolie Mann with a pop-up that was dropped by Ramirez. And good eye there. Full count once again. We'll find out if she gets the green light to swing. It's those that you don't know. It's a little too close to take, but sometimes you get caught looking. Sometimes take a strike at it. There's Ali Hernandez, full count. And staying alive is Ali Hernandez. Again, Alyssa Recio, number 1, just a few feet away at third base. She's the courtesy runner for Jolie Mann. No hits here in the inning, but a run has come in, a couple of errors. That has kept Skidmore-Tynan in this top of the first. There's Julissa Ramirez looking for a pitch here. Money pitch. Staying alive, Ali Hernandez. A good at bat, number 7. Count, 2 outs. Runner on third, Ali Hernandez. She'll take the base. Runners at the corners. Ali Hernandez, and now to the plate, Kylie Kinney. Normally is out in the outfield and center, but right now she's concerned about, let's advance the runners, especially the third base runner, Alyssa Recio. There goes Hernandez takes second. So now runners on second and third. So theoretically, a base hit can bring both in. Of course, that all depends on exactly where the ball is hit. There's a lot of variables that come into play, but 0-1, 2 outs. That's tapped out to right. So quickly, Julissa Ramirez. Again, when you're the pitcher, Julissa Ramirez, you got the batter in an 0-2 hole, and you want to keep him there. If you're the batter, Kylie Kinney, at this point you're going, there's a very good chance I'm going to have to swing at one of these, because the odds of getting 4 balls is not as likely when you're 0-2 already. Good stop by Estihead. Haley Estihead. Well done. Otherwise, you see Alyssa Recio heading for the second run. Thank you for joining us at ST Lady Cat Nation on YouTube. But we're also currently on ST Bobcat Nation on Facebook for the Bobcat baseball. Once again, that was tipped back. Keep it as it is, 1-2. Again, Kylie Kinney looking to in the hole right now, having to really carefully watch the pitches. You can't really look one in. You kind of have to make a quick decision here. And that is tapped in. It's going to be close. Safe. And over to second goes Kylie Kinney. Alyssa Recio with a second run. So now a little trip to the mound. So good base running by Kylie Kinney, and this one hit about not even a foot, and it was fair. And Recio had to kind of swerve around. Those are the kind that are close at the plate, but called safe. 2-0. Skidmore-Tynan here early in the top of the first. A little bit different than the top of the first against Kennedy at home last Friday on that loss, as they left several runners on base. At least 2 times the bases were loaded. At other times there was a runner or 2 left stranded. Here is Danny Munoz. Danny Munoz at the plate. She's got Ali Hernandez at third, Kylie Kinney at second. Again, the hurricane wind, I wish I could go in and remove it, but I cannot. Hopefully it's picking me up more than it is the wind, because that's up high. So 2-0. All of this, again, I'm going to harp on it a little bit. It was full count, 3-2 with 2 outs. And Brogan Schmidt, with nobody on, was struck out, but because of the mishandling of the pitch, dropped. She ends up at first and then ultimately all the way around. 2-1 the count. 2 balls a strike, 2 outs. Runners on second and third. Again, Skidmore-Tynan trying to take advantage of Ali Hernandez on third, who was walked, and then Kylie Kinney, who almost bunted, but it was a full swing about 6 inches from the plate. Swing and a miss. So deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runs in, and 2 runners on. Julissa Ramirez on the mound for the Lady Longhorns. That's a big one. 2-2. And a strikeout bringing. And that'll take us to the bottom of the second. 2 runners are left stranded. 2-0. Skidmore-Tynan. We go to the bottom of the first. The Agua Dulce Lady Longhorns coming up to bat. So we've got Jolie Mann on the mound. Natalie Ramirez behind the plate. Brogan Schmidt is at first. Ali Hernandez on second. Gracie Franks at short. Trying to wait till they all get I believe it's Eliza Garcia at, actually it's Danny Munoz at third. And we're gonna have Eliza Garcia at left. Kylie Kinney will be at center or right field, and flip-flop them. Alexis Flores at center. On the ponytail effect. I gotta let her swing first so I can see her. Number 4. So leading off in the lineup will be the pitcher, Julissa Ramirez. And coming in, and thank you to Refugio Sports Network for the stats. Julissa Ramirez, the Lady Longhorn, coming in district with a 500 batting average. So you're talking, 500, every other time. So that's a very, very, very high percentage. And that'll be who leads off for the Lady Longhorns in Agua Dulce. Here in the bottom of the first, Skidmore-Tynan able to get a couple of runs in. They leave 2. But considering the fact that they were at full count, 2 outs, nobody on, no runs in, and they managed to salvage 2 runs out of that, and that was a much better showing in the top of the first here than last Friday against Kennedy. I'm not trying to be critical, I'm just analyzing the game, okay? But Julissa Ramirez, the pitcher, will lead off for Agua Dulce. And there's one bar right there that's really throwing us off, but Jolie Mann once again on the mound. Natalie Ramirez will be behind the plate. Brogan Schmidt first. Ali Hernandez on second. Strike call. Gracie Franks on third. Danny Munoz is on third, and I may have to reconfigure the outfield, but it's the 3 I called out, but I don't know if they're in the same position. I believe that is Eliza Garcia out at left, and again Alexis Flores at center, and out at right field will be Kylie Kinney. If they're wrong, I'll let you know, or somebody will let me know. So 1-2 the count, so immediately Jolie Mann up 1-2 on the count to the counterpart, pitcher, Julissa Ramirez. And I believe I saw third base Audrey Lueta on deck, but the on deck is a little bit off to the right of the dugout, so I don't see them as clearly as I can Skidmore-Tynan. But I believe I saw 21. Once again, Julissa Ramirez batting 500. And a strikeout to Jolie Mann. I was incorrect. It's Avery Gonzalez who is playing second. Avery coming in with a 389 batting average in district. Trying to match up here with the ace from Skidmore-Tynan, Jolie Mann. Strike out. Again, a lot of wind. I apologize. I'm going to work on that for the next game if everything comes out right and Amazon cooperates. Swing and miss. 1-1 with 1 out, 1 down. Strikeout number 2 for Jolie Mann.
Don't try to get it. Get out there.
And now number 2 Josie Delgado batting .333. That's getting on once every 3 times, which is not shabby. Josie Delgado. Trying to bunt, strike comes through. Trying to get the bar to where you guys can still see Jolie's delivery. And there's about maybe 1 frame that you miss. And good check on that by Delgado. No strike. Ball. Checking with first base official. Swing and a miss, and 1-2, 1 strike away from striking out the side is Jolie Mann. They're trying to find it. Strike is called. So Jolie Mann strikes out the side. And we played 1 full inning, 2-0. Skidmore-Tynan leading the Agua Dulce Lady Longhorns. We go to the second. So we're in between first and second innings, 2-0. Jolie Mann striking out the bottom of the first. Look at some other things, yesterday, the round 1 district golf at Lozano, Gabe Lozano in Corpus Christi on Brownswood Road. We've got a couple of Bobcats that are up at the top. And I should say, William Sturgeon tied for first at the end of round 1. And he shot a 69, so he's 3 under par. Tied for a tie. He's tied for first. Keithan Wilson shooting a 77, 5 over par, just 8 strokes away. And he's in second. Make that third, since first, the top 2 are tied for first. And then comes Keithan Wilson. So congratulations as they go into round 2 next week at La Palmilla in Port Aransas. That's what we've got for golf. I mentioned baseball going on right now at ST Bobcat Nation on Facebook, and I thank immensely my friend Mike Chambers for bringing us that action, and I'll get to watch something when I get home or I won't do it on the way home, but I'll get to watch it tonight. Leading off the top of the second for Skidmore-Tynan, number 23, Leah Nance.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Good pitch. Good pitch.
Strike call, Jalisa Ramirez. Ramirez had a good outing in the top of the first. Skidmore-Tynan just happened to stay alive. Except for one moment, she had a clean slate. And all it takes is one drop, one error. Call it the one moment, and you got a little rally going. And Skidmore-Tynan, I guess you could say, brought in 2 of the possible 4 runs. 2 were stranded in the top of the first, and 2 came in. So 2-0 is where we stand. Swing and a miss, 1-2 to Leah Nance. And got her. Melissa Ramirez with a strikeout, out number 1. Comes Jakin Salinas, number 12. Jakin Salinas, it's good to see her out there. She had an injured finger. And now only one on the injured list, and that would be Emma Koenig. She's out for the season. That was a little low. Tynan down here with Jake and Salinas at the plate, taking on Jalissa Ramirez on the mound for Agua Dulce. Strike. Nice pitch by Ramirez. I will stand corrected, I believe. No, actually I don't. I'm talking to myself. Gonzalez is at second. Delgado is at short. And that one goes into the dugout. Jake and Salinas staying alive. Make that 2 strikes, 1 and 2. So Ramirez up on the batter. Salinas. Jake and Salinas. Again, great to have her back. And I know on the video, the first time I ever really talked to Jake and Salinas, about as bubbly a personality as you could ever have. Just to make a good interviewer or a good reporter or something dealing with people. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 2 down. And now top of the order, Alexis Flores. Flores walked her first time up and then took to second on a bunt by Natalie Ramirez. But she swung deep at second, and then Rodriguez over to Luetta on third and tagged out the runner. So Skidmore-Tynan quickly down 2 outs in the top of the first, but Alexis Flores hoping to get on base again. That's tapped over to the left side. So 1 and 1, 2 outs. Skidmore-Tynan again trying for another 2-out rally. If you want to go a little bit further, they had the 2-out rally with the full count. So they were down to 1 strike, 1 ball. So see if Alexis Flores can repeat this in the top of the second. And that's tapped out. Foul to the left side. Again, ST. Bobcat Nation at this moment carrying Bobcat baseball. Bobcats trying to break into the win column in district. Immensely improved from last season. They're taking on the 3-1 Refugio Bobcats. That was a little high. 2 and 2. Full. You got a 2-ball, 2 strike, 2 outs. Second inning, 2-0. A lot of 2s. Deuces are wild. You don't ever get triples or wild because normally on a 3, you're already going to the dugout. And that'll stay alive. That'll go to the left side. So Alexis Flores giving a lot of softballs out to the left side. Coach Duran will toss over a few. Got to go through a lot of softballs throughout the course of a game. Again, we're in the top of the second. Skidmore-Tynan up 2-0. They are the away team. Staying alive, back behind us. Now we went to the baseball field. Jalissa Ramirez doing a good job there, staying up, keeping it active for Alexis Flores here. And she taps it to shortstop. Short to first. Ow! Delgado to Gutierrez for the 3rd out. We go to the bottom of the second, and here come the Lady Longhorns.
They went into the field.
They're retrieving the softball fields, the softballs from the field. where they need you got a bat boy, you need a ball boy and a ball girl and somebody to retrieve all the balls. There's a lot going everywhere. It has nothing to do with the wind. Not like the wind's taking it. It's just the pitching. Good pitching by Ramirez. Good pitching by Jolie Mann. And she will now enter the bottom of the second. Bottom of the second. Two in the top of the first for Skidmore-Tynan, and none in the top of the second. So Ramirez doing a good job. She did a good job in the top of the first inning as well. Like I said, just an error. One error. If you can go back to that one error when it was 2 outs and full count, Ramirez had it. And then you open up one little door to that offense. And before you know, you had some base runners and a few errors were added, and a couple of runs came in, and that's where we're at right now. Otherwise, a very evenly. The difference, of course, right now in one half of an inning, in the bottom of the first, Jolie Mann striking out the side. And let me see. Let me make sure. I pretty much have called everybody out. Coming up to the plate to lead off the bottom of the second is Audrey Lueta and Refugio Sports Network stats, and Ryan Linney batting .471. And the way the setup is here, the stands kind of intermixed here with Lady Longhorns and Lady Cats. Here we go, Audrey Lueta. That's a little high. Lueta at third. She did get the tag out on Alexis Flores in the top of the first on the pitch from first baseman Rodriguez. Make that Gutierrez. Juliana. So Audrey Lueta, third base. Now on a 1-1 count from Jolie Mann. And goes back. Is a lot of open country, open land. More than likely, the ball is going to land nowhere. It's just going to be like, I like it. I'm telling you, you got to bring it down a little bit. That's a little high. Two and two the count. So full count to Lueta. Audrey Lueta from Jolie Mann. So opportunity for the Agua Dulce. Strike call. Four batters, 4 strikeouts for Jolie Mann. Emily Garza to the plate. Coming in with a .538 average. Swing and a miss. I think my outfielders are not the ones I called out. Swing and a miss. So if Jolie Mann can get the next strike, we'll get the fielders. I believe that's Kylie Kinney at left. Alexis Flores at center, and I'll find out over in right field because I can't see. Yeah, that looks like Kinney out in left. Flores out in center. Here we go. That's a little tap up. Got it. And a nice hustle there by Natalie Ramirez for the third out. Absolutely. Thought that was 3 already. That's 2 outs?
Yeah. This is the third batter coming up.
Okay. I guess I missed one. But I got that one there, Danny. Proud Grandpa over here on that nice catch. So that means... No, I stand corrected. Yeah, that was 4 strikeouts. My apologies. And the out there on the put out by the catcher, Natalie Ramirez, for the 5th out, and now 2 down. I was jumping the gun there a little bit. The wind has gotten to me. Actually, it feels good. I just know you guys are getting a bunch of sound effects. I'm gonna fix that in the next game. We're gonna fix that at least to shield some of the blast. A whole different story. That's back. Now one goes back. A lot of farmland back there. A lot of rich dirt back there. There we go. And that is tapped over, base hit down the right field line. And that does look like Leah Nance at it right field. So base hit. And my apologies. I believe it's foul. That's Emma Jacobo. That looks like Avery Gonzalez, who I probably missed because I was trying to figure out, was it the 2nd or the 3rd out? It had been the 2nd out. That's tapped over. Base hit. Now you got to go to 3rd. Now a little hot box there. There, she got by. Save. Couldn't get her. Good base running. Good base running by Avery Gonzalez, the 2nd. I have to double check on that. They want to know if it's. They're trying to find out on the. Couldn't quite tag her. So Jacobo. Avery Silva. Runners at the corners. So threatening here. Swing and a miss. There goes the base runner, number 22. Emma Jacobo. I don't know if it's a Jacobo or a Jacobo. I'm going to do both. Jacobo. Jacobo. Foul ball. Avery Silva. And on 3rd, along with Jacobo on 2nd, is Estinel, the catcher. So right now, Agua Dulce with an opportunity with one swing of the bat to tie this up. At the hands of Avery Silva. Some good hitting, but little bit on the fielding. Need maybe a little improvement on that. Skidmore-Tynan could have had an out on there, but so 2-2 with 2 outs, 2 runners on, 2-0. A lot of 2s up right now. Right now. Avery Silva. Staying alive is Avery Silva. Again, she's got Estinel on 3rd, Jacobo on 2nd. Emma Jacobo. Haley Estinel. And Avery Silva at the plate. 2-2 with 2 outs, 2 runners on for Agua Dulce. One swing can tie this up. Possibly. Try to get her. Safe. In comes Estinel, the catcher, for a Lady Longhorn run. Jacobo on 3rd now. She represents the tying run. It's early, only the 2nd inning, bottom of the 2nd. But Avery Silva trying to bring in that second run from third for the Agua Dulce Lady Longhorns. And she's sent over, and good chance then. First base, Juliana Gutierrez to the plate. And now Juliana Gutierrez, as more than likely Silva was going to take second because they're not going to chance throwing it. And there she goes. They're not going to chance throwing it to second because then Jacobo will come in. So Gutierrez now with an opportunity with a single to put Agua Dulce ahead. Strike call. 1-1 with 2 outs. You heard it there. You don't want to leave your runners on base. You want to capitalize and bring them in. Swing and a miss to Juliana Gutierrez. And now Jolie Mann up 1-2. And they do have 2 base runners. 1 run has come in. Estinel, the catcher. Haley. Here comes the pitch. Too high. 2-2 with 2 outs. 2 runners on. 2-1, I should say. Almost all 2s up on the board right now, except for Agua Dulce trying to get their second run coming in with Jacobo from third.
Way to five.
Everybody reacted. I reacted a little bit. You got one little, if it's got a little bit of a curve to it, it might come our way. Here we go. Here's the windup and the pitch. And that gets by. That's going to bring 2 runs in. And an error and a stand-up double for Gutierrez. And with one swing of the bat, Gutierrez puts Agua Dulce up by 1. The pendulum shifts 1 down to 1 up. Agua Dulce with a little rally going here with 2 outs. Strike call. And again, I think that's Jalissa Ramirez. That's correct. Jalissa Ramirez, the pitcher. With Juliana Gutierrez on second. Everybody's saying, hey, stay put. But Gutierrez on second after that double down the shortstop line. Strike call.
Let's go, Juju. Let's go, man.
It's the 4-2 Agua Dulce Lady Longhorns and the 2-3 Skidmore-Tynan Lady Cats. Here we go. Ramirez taps it over. And a third out over at first from Hernandez to Schmidt. And that is Leonance out at right field. Flores at center and Kylie Kinney out at left. And we go to the 3rd innings. 3 runs come in for Agua Dulce. 3-2 Lady Longhorns. So box score, Skidmore-Tynan with 2 in the first, none in the second. Flip-flop it. Agua Dulce with no runs in the bottom of the first and 3 come across in the bottom of the second. 3-2 Agua Dulce. We do have tennis going on 7 miles east of here in Banquetti. I'm pretty sure their day is over. We hopefully will get some updates from our awesome coaches. It was Tennis Tuesday. I don't have anything on tap for tomorrow. Wednesday is usually a free day. As far, not free day overall. Academically, you need to study and go to class and everything. But Wednesday, athletically, I'm not saying they don't practice or But as far as games or matches or events, none on Wednesday. On Thursday, high school track at Sinton at 9. High school track at Sinton at 9. And then on Friday, our Lady Cats will be on the road. We will be on the road to Port Aransas. And our Bobcat baseball will be at home against Yorktown. And we go to the third, top of the third. Again, Skidmore-Tynan, 2-0 on the box score. Agua Dulce, 0-3 on the box score. And that's where we stand. We start the third. Natalie Ramirez to the plate. And the number 2 batter is correct. And lays down a bunt over to first for the out. Good throw from third base. Lueta to Gutierrez. Third base to first. Out number 1 on 1 pitch by Ramirez. And now Brogan Schmidt with 1 out here in the top of the third. She lays down some beautiful bunts, but Lueta a little too quick anticipating that bunt over to Gutierrez. Nicely done by the Lady Horns. Swing and a miss. You got to be able to look at those a little bit, and that's a little high, but
Let's go.
Come on, baby.
You got it, babe. Let's go.
Here we go.
Brogan Schmidt, 0-1 the count, 1 out.
Got it.
Strike called, 0-2. Of course, I say you swung at one, and then you looked in the other one, but you just never know. Ramirez doing a good job there. She settled down after the top of the first and has done very well since then. Jalissa Ramirez. Swing and a miss for out number 2. Jolie Mann. That's what I love about this. Jolie Mann up, only 1 down, 3-2 here in the top of the third, but potential to tie it up in 1 swing. Jolie Mann. 2 outs. Jalissa Ramirez on the mound. Strike call.
You got it, babe. 2 more. Let's go.
0-2. Ramirez up on the batter, man. 0-2.
One more, Juju. Let's go. Let's go.
0-2. 2 outs. And that one is hit foul. I made the call before the official. I should wait. But it was a little obvious. A few feet to the left of the line.
One more.
0-2. Of course, every time Jolie Mann gets to the plate, a pinch runner, courtesy runner, Alyssa Recio gets ready. Percentages are high. On base percentages for Jolie Mann. And caught by Mr. Gonzalez. There he is. I didn't get that, I'm sorry. It was going so fast, I couldn't.
You're just staring.
Danny Gonzalez with the reception. That's high. 1-2 the count, 2 outs, Jolie Mann. Third batter in the inning. Ramirez was bunted out from Lueta to Rodriguez. And a strikeout.
Everybody ready? Let's go, girls.
Brogan Schmidt from Jalissa Ramirez.
Come on, baby. Ready?
And that is out to right center. And it is caught there by second base, Avery Gonzalez. And we go to the bottom of the third. Here comes Agua Dulce. Good fielding by Gonzalez. She was also very impressive when the throw from the catcher on a missed third strike. Catcher Estinel throws over to first and Gutierrez, but Gonzalez back to back her up. Otherwise, Brogan Schmidt would have taken second. So now to the bottom of the third. Jolie Mann with 4 strikeouts going in. I think I covered all the activities athletically that we have coming up. Once again, right at this moment, Bobcat baseball being covered on ST Bobcat Nation Facebook by Michael Chambers. The one who had the putout just now, Avery Gonzalez, will lead off the bottom of the third. Again, she was impressive in backing up Gutierrez on the overthrow from the catcher, Steinhead. And also the put out here for the third out on Jolie Mann, which is a big out. So now she's, let's see if she can add a little bit here to the Agua Dulce Lady Longhorns. 3-2 lead here in the bottom of the third. Thank you all for joining me at ST Lady Cat Nation on YouTube. Lady Longhorn fans and Lady Cat fans. Skidmore-Tynan 2-3 at Agua Dulce 4-2. Strike call on Gonzalez, the second baseman. Strike called on that one. On the bunt attempt, the officiating on the right first base line said it's a strike. So 0-2 to Gonzalez from Jolie Mann, who has 4 strikeouts here thus far. And that's number 5.
Let's go, Josie in the zone, baby. Got this.
Josie Delgado, once again, shortstop. Had a put out in the bottom of the second. That one goes. Hey, Danny.
Way to be there.
Danny, he needed 1 bounce. You didn't need any bounces, right? 1 bounce on that last. Hey, but he had a little more spin to it. Everybody catching softballs around here. I want one. We do give them back. Although I did catch one at one-handed at Whataburger Field. I believe it was Coastal Bend College was playing. I don't remember who, but it was at not Joe Hunter Field. That's where you normally play. It was at Whataburger Field, and I grabbed it with one hand, and I had to give it back. But the lady came and asked if my hand was okay. It was fine. I mean, there goes another one. Heads up. Oh my goodness. Oh, that was close. That was close. All I know is Noe almost got it. I was going to have to interview her. It's getting dangerous out here. Ball's going everywhere. Meantime, back at the game, Josie Delgado with 1 out. 0-2's the count. Another one. That one almost going to coach back there. This is starting to get exciting here. Balls are coming down like hailstorms. Or hailstorm. 0-2 the count. Jolie Mann working on strikeout number 6. That's a fair. Oh, foul. Foul. That was close. I called it fair.
Let's do a replay for gentlemen's recording.
I got it right here. I saw fair, but I'm not the umpire, and I might be wrong. It was close because it hit the base, the little corner of the base, but it's all good. 2-2 the count. Josie Delgado on base a long time. She's also given the fans a lot of gifts with the softballs. Here we go, 2-2 the count. Another one. How many do you think we have tonight? About 20 already? We're gonna run out of softballs here. It's a little crazy. It's hailing here. Josie Delgado holding strong here against Jolie Mann. Full count. Jolie Mann trying to get number 6 here. There's 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd. There's nobody on, and we've just had foul ball after foul ball. That's foul ball, but it stays in the park. That ball just died in the wind. Wind is coming right at us, so home runs might be a little bit tougher, especially if you hang them high. As a matter of fact, Jolie Mann hit one, which I thought was going to right field, or at least right center, and it ended up at second. Strike call. And that's strikeout number 6, 2 down. Third base, Audrey Lueta. We started off with tagging out Alexis Flores, swing and a miss. That's one time when you don't have doubt, when the batter swings and misses. See how many balls Lueta will hit back to us. I'm thinking somebody should have kept tabs on the number of foul balls. I would think I'm going to go back and check how many foul balls there were in this game. There's like 20 at least so far. 1-1 the count, 2 outs. Strike 2. Audrey Lueta at third base. There's a big gap. That's right up the gut. That's a little high.
Yeah, come on, that was a great pitch. Yeah.
It's time for the umpire now making, now glancing to the right. There may be somebody ejected. That is the gap I was talking about. Nobody there. And Lueta will hold up at first for a single. There's a big gap there up the gut, and it sure enough almost got to right center through the gap, which would have been a double. Emily Garza, the lefty. Audrey Lueta with a good at bat, and now at first. Got Lueta at first. Three balls, no strikes. So Agua Dulce putting together a little something here with 2 outs. Strike on.
Come on, bro.
3-1. Lueta on first. And so foul tip, which is second strike. Full count, 2 outs. So Lueta with every reason now to run. And you got a full count of 3-2 and 2 outs. If there's a pop-up, you take off anyway. And a swing and a miss, and there goes strike out number 6. Make that number 7 for Jolie Mann, and we go to the top of the 4th. Agua Dulce up 3-2. Once again, looking at throughout the district, 32A. Skidmore-Tynan at Agua Dulce, 2-3. Skidmore-Tynan at 4-2, Agua Dulce. Woodsboro at 5-1 at Kennedy, 4-2. Refugio 5-0 at Port Aransas, 1-5. Pettis at 0-4 at Yorktown at 1-5. That's the softball side. Over on the baseball side tonight, Refugio 3-1 at Skidmore-Tynan, 0-4, and that one's at ST Bobcat Nation Facebook. Pettis at 1-3 at Kennedy, 3-1. Agua Dulce at 4-0 against 4-0 Port Aransas. Woodsboro 1-3 at Yorktown, 0-4. For the Lady Cats, on Friday, we'll head to Port Aransas. And for Yorktown, for our baseball, Skidmore-Tynan Bobcats will host Yorktown Wildcats. And that's our softball and baseball for the remainder of the week. Again, congratulations, round 1 at Lozano Golf Course. Tied for first after round 1, William Sturgeon. And in third, right behind the 2 at the top, is Keithan Wilson. On to round 2 next week at La Palmilla in Port Aransas. And tennis today in Banquetti, 7 miles east of here of Agua Dulce. And we'll find out a little more of that hopefully later tonight. Top of the 4th, 3-2, Agua Dulce. And I believe Ali Hernandez to the plate. There's a train. That's up high, so 2-0 the count. Again, you need base runners, so Ali Hernandez is certainly a good base runner. On deck is Kylie Kinney, playing left field tonight. Three and 0 the count. So Ali Hernandez, let's see if she just takes a 4th ball at the risk of a strike, or gets a green light here from Jalissa Ramirez on the mound for Agua Dulce. Strike out. And she did that. She took the pitch, and it was a nice one by Jalissa. See if she takes another one. You're in the hole 3-0 as a pitcher, and you got to put in some beauties. She taps it out to second, and the out to Gonzalez. That's the second put out by second base, Gonzalez. Now Kylie Kinney. Coach Duran coaching at third, and West out at first. And Gonzalez in the dugout with the players. Again, still healing and in crutches. Here's Kylie Kinney. And that's right back. Another one back.
You got one out there, let's go.
0-1 the count. 1 out. Nobody on. Top of the fourth. Skidmore-Tynan.
There it is. Good pitch.
And that is tapped out to Gonzalez. And in time to Gutierrez for the second out. A nice little scoop by Avery Gonzalez.
Hey, way to work out there, defense.
Good fielding by the right side of the field for Agua Dulce. You take the left side over there with Loera. She had a put out in the top of the first, so they're doing beautifully with their fielding are the Lady Longhorns. Danny Munoz, number 10 to the plate.
Pretty big. There you go.
Swing and a miss. We're in the top of the fourth. Skidmore-Tynan with their 2 runs in the top of the first. And Agua Dulce with their 3 runs in the bottom of the second. That's where we're at. The rest has been goose eggs on the box score. And that's a foul to the right side. So 1-2 the count now with 2 outs. Again, Danny Munoz trying to start those cool, popular 2-out rallies, which is what took place in the top of the first. And
Come on now, here you go.
that one rolls in. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 3-2, Agua Dulce. Nobody on. Leah Nance on deck. Playing right field tonight. And one goes back. It actually feels good tonight. The temperatures might be the best temperature we've had of any game I've called. It's either too cool or too hot. I'm kind of like the 3 Bears and Goldilocks. It's just right tonight. It's just a little windy. And if y'all are okay with the hurricane effect that you're getting. Full count. Nobody on. 2 outs. But you got to start somewhere. And a 2-out rally. And this is exactly where we were in the top of the first with Brogan Schmidt. And there was a strikeout by Jalissa Ramirez. The pitch was dropped, so Brogan Schmidt took off to first. That one is out to the pitcher. And Gutierrez, Juliana Gutierrez with the 3rd out. And we go to the bottom of the 4th. And here come the Lady Longhorns. Again, that right side of the field has done a fantastic job for Agua Dulce. Not letting anything get by. So 3-2 is the score. Bottom of the 4th. Skidmore-Tynan. Box scores right now in on the top, which is the visiting team, 2-0-0-0. And on the bottom, we've got 0-3-0 with the Lady Longhorns yet to bat in the bottom of the fourth. And one more shout out, I guess, if you will, a shout out. Not a shout out, but a on the schedule we have Thursday we have high school track at Sinton at 9 a.m. High school track at Sinton. We talked about Friday's baseball and softball. Bobcats are at home against Yorktown, and they are. Lady Cats are on the road at Port Aransas. The lights come on. Field of Dreams. All right, Jolie Mann's being asked a lot here. Try to keep all the batters at bay. Keep them in the infield. I love this. I love the sound of trains. Catcher Haley Estinhel will be. So Estinhel, the catcher, will lead off the bottom of the fourth. Here's Estinhel. That's tap. Guess what? To the right side, foul ball. Once again, if you welcome, thank you for joining us at ST Lady Cat Nation. That one is foul ball. If you look straight ahead, you will, I guess, around I don't know, 3 blocks. You'll hit Highway 44. Strike on. Strike 3. My records show 8 strikeouts for Jolie Mann. Again, trying to keep the team going here. We have had some fielding errors. And one way to get your batters out is strike them out. And she has done her job with 8, but it's a team effort. And I know the Lady Cats will tighten up the fielding. Shout out to, of course, Berta Aguilar, who is normally watching. I'm not sure if she's watching both baseball and softball. We got them going concurrently. Get to watch some baseball tonight on ST Bobcat Nation Facebook. I'll still send that game over to ST Bobcat Nation YouTube for my archives. Inside. Nobody on, 1 out. At the plate. I say at the plate is that's a little bit high there. Emma Jacobo. Nobody ever yells out the last name. I believe it's Jacobo. And that's over to Gracie, and it is sent to the right side. Save is Jacobo on first. Awesome. I figured you were, Berta. So the throw a little bit wide to the right to Brogan Schmidt. And that will put Jacobo on first with 1 out and 2 to the plate. Is Haley Estinhel, I believe. This is Avery Silva. Silva is fair ball. All the way around. And it's just brought back Hakova with the run. I don't know what happened on right field, but the ball landed in. And all the way to second goes Silva. And now to the plate. Apologize, I don't have right field. That's my blind side. So the ball landed inbound. And a swing and a miss. Juliana Gutierrez, first base, who's done excellent along with Gonzalez at second in fielding tonight. Strike called. Silva on second. 4-2. A run has come through on a stand-up double by Silva, bringing Jacobo all the way around from first. And there we are, 4-2. Agua Dulce. And there goes Silva to third. Now Skidmore-Tynan, who with only one out here in the bottom of the fourth. Two balls, two strikes, one out, runner on third. Avery Silva. Again, Silva with a stand-up double, bringing in that fourth run. Emma Jacobo all the way from first base. Swing and a miss for strike three, and there is strikeout number 9 for Jolie Mann. And these are big strikeouts. She's needed them. Number 4, pitcher Jalissa Ramirez to the plate. A little high. Again, Silva on third. Bringing in one run here in the bottom of the fourth. Swing and a miss. 1-1 the count, 2 outs. Jalissa Ramirez at the plate with Avery Silva on third. 2 outs. It's high, so 2-1. Think about putting this runner on first. They'll more than likely take second base because you don't want to risk the throw from. And 2-2 the count on that foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 1 run has come across in the bottom of the fourth on a stand-up double by Avery Silva, bringing in Emma Jacobo. And there it is. Strikeout number 10 unofficially. Avery Gonzalez, second base. I thought it was 3-2. I didn't want to question the umpire, but it does look like it was 3. We go to the top of the 5th. Now the top of the 5th. Box score thus far through 4 complete innings. As we go into the 5th, Skidmore-Tynan is 2-0-0-0. Agua Dulce 0-3-0-1. So a little, I think it's a little too early to, maybe not, but depending on how the rest of this game goes, but a little insurance run by Avery Silva, bringing in Emma Jacobo from first base on a nice shot out to right field. And I'm sorry I couldn't bring you the action because that's my blind side. Something's got to give in some places unless I have a nice little loft at like over at Greenwood, I believe it was. When we had a tournament, I had a spot that was about immaculate as you could get. No obstruction, had the entire field. But a lot of times I got to find a spot and work with that. Again, I didn't get a lineup. I don't need a lineup, but positions I did not get. I I've been given a lot of credit infield. Loera, Estinhead, Ramirez, Delgado at short, Gonzalez at second, Gutierrez at first. Straight center is Emily Garza. See if I can get left field. It's way out there. I think that's Avery Silva at left. I don't have right field. So here we go. Leon Ants to lead off the top of the fifth.
Go defense.
Swing and a miss. Jalissa Ramirez is doing a great job. Has shut out the Lady Cats after one. After giving up one, make it 2 runs in the top of the first. Has shut out the Lady Cats. And if it hadn't been for one inerrant or a dropped third strike, it could very well have been no runs. But Skidmore-Tynan capitalizing on that. And Brogan Schmidt heads up run to first. Overthrow to Gutierrez. And then eventually Brogan Schmidt bringing in, coming all the way around for the run. Strike 2. And I can't fault him for swinging. The umpire's calling him a little high from my perspective. He's doing consistent. I'm not knocking the umpire. He's doing a good job. But it's hard right now to see from this angle. And that's popped up to third, shortstop. Easily taken by Jalissa Ramirez for the first out. A lot of pop-ups here, and Ramirez is part of that, and Gonzalez with a couple. Gutierrez. So good fielding by the Lady Longhorns. Jake and Salinas now will come to the plate. Swing and a miss for Salinas. We're in the top of the fifth here. Agua Dulce up 4-2. Skidmore-Tynan batting in the top of the fifth with 1 out. And Jake and Salinas at the plate. Strike. Good pitch by Ramirez. 0-2. So now all the options lay with the pitcher here. She's got a lot of ways to go here. And as a batter, you sort of think, I'm going to have to make contact because of the odds.
Come on, baby. Come on now. Here we go. Hit the ground. Yeah.
Swing and a miss. Out number 2. Alexis Flores is the lefty in the leadoff. Top of the lineup again.
Number 1 batter. Number 1 batter. What's your bunt? What's your bunt? Number 1 batter. What's your bunt? Y'all be ready out there, Josie. What's your bunt? What's your bunt?
Alexis Flores playing in deep center tonight. I shouldn't say deep center. The wind's blowing it back, so more of a shallow center. Again, Alexis Flores trying to get another 2-out rally. I use that a lot, but it's the cool thing about this sport. Is you can start a rally at any point, even on the last strike, which Brogan Schmidt did in the top of the first. That's a foul. That might have a little to do with the wind, but not that much. And I've just been overly impressed with that right side first, second. Haven't had too much of a need for the outfield tonight due to Jalissa Ramirez's pitching. So good infield play by Agua Dulce. This goes over to third. Shot over to first. That's what I was talking about. Loera to Gutierrez. Out number 3. We go to the bottom of the fifth. And here come the Lady Longhorns. bottom of the 5th inning. Again, right now, this is a very closely contested game in Agua Dulce. But in Skidmore-Tynan right now at Bobcat Field, we have the Skidmore-Tynan Bobcats hosting the Refugio Bobcats, and that is being brought to you by Michael Chambers. So still a closely contested game here in Agua Dulce. Skidmore-Tynan 2-3 taking on the 4-2 Agua Dulce Lady Longhorns. Avery Gonzalez will lead off the bottom of the 5th. They got an insurance run by Avery Silva in the bottom of the 4th, bringing in Emma Jacobo from first.
Right, these guys go happy like I
Avery Gonzalez to the batter's box. Got a Brogan Schmidt in at catcher now. Got a little bit of a lineup change at first. That's a pop up. Jolie Man takes care of it for the first out. At first is Leah Nance now. Natalie Ramirez at shortstop. So a few changes in the lineup. So Jolie Man on the first pop-up and an out. Swing and a miss. Josie Delgado, who's done great fielding at the shortstop position, and now trying to, of course, as any team will do, trying to put on a little bit of padding here with the 4-2 lead. That's up high. Again, a few changes. Brogan Schmidt at catcher, Leah Nance at first, and at shortstop is Natalie Ramirez. That one goes straight back for Delgado. Staying alive, a 1-2 with one out. You can see proud parent right there. Delgado. And she may make it. She makes it. That is a strikeout.
My legs, I kept doing that shit.
And that is considered a strikeout, as the third pitch is not maintained, not caught. So Delgado out at first with one out. Audrey Loera had a nice put out from third to first in the last inning. Now you got to keep an eye on Delgado on first.
Come on now, here you go now. You ready?
Foul ball. Audrey Loera. Josie Delgado on first. One out for Agua Dulce.
Come on now, come on. Head down in there. Come on, baby. There you go.
A swing and a miss, and it's going out. Oh, they dropped it. Well, fortunately, no, Delgado did not advance. Benefit to Skidmore-Tynan, but
Let's go, Audrey!
Padre Loeta at the plate, 1-2. Throw out is way off.
Hey, what do you got there?
And a steal officially by Josie Delgado on second. And that is tapped after right field. Delgado will score. Loeta with a single. 5-2's the score now here in the bottom of the fifth. We're going to have a swap here out on right field. There goes Eliza Garcia for Jake and Salinas, I believe. Emily Garza to the plate with Loeta on first. Padre Loeta on first. Emily Garza at the plate. 1 out. 1 run has come in. Bringing in Delgado from second after the steal by Delgado. So good base running allowed for that run to come in. And a tapper to second. The throw to first is out in time, second out. But the sacrifice takes Loeta out of second. 2 outs. Good put out there from Ali Hernandez. Talia Nance. Haley Estangel, the catcher, to the plate. Strike called and Loeta on second. 0-1 the count, 2 outs, runner on second. Big time right here for Skidmore-Tynan. Oh, and a nice put out there from Ali Hernandez to Leah Nance for the 3rd out. Well done. And that will end the 5 complete innings. We go to the top of the 6th. Here come the Lady Cats. Once again, we got Bobcat Baseball taking place right now at ST Bobcat Nation on Facebook, being brought to you by Mike Chambers and assistant Amanda Chambers. We'll be right back at ST Bobcat Nation for Bobcat Baseball on Friday in Skidmore-Tynan at 6 against Yorktown in the Wildcats. And for the Lady Cats, we'll be heading to Port Aransas as the Lady Cats take on the Lady Marlins in district play. Again, a lot at stake in district. Eight teams, the top 4 go to the playoffs. On the softball side, you got Refugio at 5-0, Woodsboro at 5-1, Kennedy and Agua Dulce at 4-2, and they're at the top of the stack. On the baseball side, you've got their head-to-head tonight, Agua Dulce and Port Aransas at 4-0. You've got 3-1 and Kennedy at 3. You've got Refugio and Kennedy at 3-1, and they're the top 4 in on the baseball side. Again, 4 of the 8 make the playoffs.
Here we go now. Here we go now.
Natalie Ramirez to the plate to lead off the top of the 6th.
Hey, girl.
There's the bent bunt, and it is. Let's find out right there. I don't know. They're gonna check. Might have gotten off the bag, and we're gonna talk this over. There's no replay. We're gonna talk about whether she was off the bag or not, and that's Gutierrez. Nice bunt. Out. So a good there by Ramirez over to Gutierrez. And Coach Gonzalez wants to know a little bit here.
Where you go, lady?
Here we go. One down.
So they're playing the bunt very well. In the field are the Lady Longhorns. Brogenschmidt. Strike called. So still feeling it is Julissa Ramirez. And the mound has been really good to her. The only 2 runs were in the top of the 1st, and that's it. She has shut out the Lady Cats from that point on, and foul ball. And again, the batter up right now, Brogenschmidt, actually, she was at 3-2 on the count, and Ramirez got the 3rd strike, but Estinel dropped it, and Brogenschmidt heads up, makes it to 1st, which allowed for a 2-run inning. Other than that, Julissa Ramirez has done a fantastic job for the Lady Longhorns. That's up high. Nobody on, 1 out, 0-2. 1-2 now.
Come on now. Go, pay attention. Go, everybody ready?
1 out. Skidmore-Tynan only has 5 outs.
Hey, girl.
And that is tapped right over to 3rd, and Lueta, Audrey Lueta. And you do credit your fielders, but you also got to give a little extra credit to Julissa Ramirez because the pitch she's putting out there, I don't know if I've seen one, at least not that many, go to the outfield. Everything's staying in the dirt. Here's Jolie Mann. Swing and a miss. Jolie Mann doing everything she can on the mound. Unofficially, I have her with 11 strikeouts. At the minimum, I know she may have more because I may have missed 1 or 2 or 3, who knows, but she's in double digits. Up, and it goes up to the moon. 0-2 the count, 2 outs for Jolie Mann.
Ready, 2-2.
Got 2 out here, let's go. Come on now. Let's go. There it is. Come on, everybody's tired. Come on now. Come on, baby. Here we go.
0-2 the count. And right to short. Throw to first for the out. Nicely done by Josie Delgado.
Somebody get that one.
Josie Delgado to Gutierrez for the 3rd out. Well done by Delgado. And that is going to take us to the bottom of the 6th. So Skidmore-Tynan's got their work cut out. I know that's cliche, but you got to stop here. Got to stop the Lady Longhorns here in the bottom of the 6th and try to put up 4 runs at least, or at least 3 runs in the top of the 7th. So Skidmore-Tynan on the box score. And it's pretty simple. It's 2-0-0-0-0-0. Top of the first 2 runs, and they've been shut out the remainder of the time. And on the bottom, Agua Dulce is 0-3-0-1-1. And they've yet to bat in the bottom of the 6th. So So number 22, Emma Jacobo. Jacobo to the plate. Her highlight was Avery Silva bringing her in from first all the way, and that's good speed there on a double out to first. Out to right field, I should say, by Avery Silva.
Let's go, baby, let's go.
But again, so let's see how much shut down the Agua Dulce Lady Longhorns and then get the bats going. Strike call. Get the strikes going in the top of the 7th. So still a ways to go here. It's a low scoring 5-2 game. Very competitive, as Skidmore-Tynan has been in a lot of those, as has been Agua Dulce. In the Agua Dulce Longhorns 4-0. They're taking on Port Aransas 4-0 tonight in Port A. So Agua Dulce swing and a miss, and down goes Jacobo. Cab number strikeout, a dozen strikeouts. Avery Silva to the plate. She had a nice one out to right field, which was in my blind side. But again, Emma Jacobo, who was just struck out, rounded second and third and made it home for that run. That was the 4th run registered in the bottom of the 5th, which gave them a 4-2 lead, and later on tacked on a 5th run. And that's where we stand. It's getting a little cooler here at Agua Dulce, but it feels good. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Jolie Mann working on her 13th. Of course, I gotta probably go look at Game Changer or ask her mom, Lorinda Wright Man. She's the best source to go to. But again, I have registered 12 right now. Make that 13. And now, number 23, first base, is Juliana Gutierrez. And I'll commend her on her fielding again. Done a great job tonight for the Agua Dulce Lady Horns. Lights are on. Yeah, they turn lights on. I really don't know why, but gotta turn those lights off. I don't know why people have to turn their lights on. There we go. Let's see how many more people will turn on their lights. A lot of people park out there in the outfield, maybe for home runs. There hasn't been one tonight. But the night is still young. We still got a little time. Gutierrez. Strike call, 1-1 the count, 2 outs. Again, Jolie Mann doing her job here in the bottom of the 6th. Trying to give Skidmore-Tynan and the Lady Cats an opportunity in the top of the 7th. That goes back, Juliana Gutierrez. And 1-2 is the count with 2 outs. That's a little high, 2-2. Deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Skidmore-Tynan trying to get their 2 runs. increased in the top of the 7th. That is a foul ball. Opportunity for an out there in right field, but it falls a little bit too deep.
There you go, straighten it out. You got it?
Juliana Gutierrez, 2-2, the count, 2 outs. That's outside, full count.
Watch it. Way to watch it.
There are no runners, but here's where you would send your runners because even on a pop-up, it doesn't matter. There's already 2 outs. And this is out to center. It drops. Little, I don't know who was going to go for that one, but it lands, and that was high up in the air. Plenty of time for fielders to get under that one. Now the pitcher, Julissa Ramirez, Juliana Gutierrez, and coach wants a change. Might have a courtesy runner. Courtesy runner number 1 for Juliana Gutierrez, well deserved, is Juliana for Juliana. That's Farias. Juliana Farias. Courtesy run for Juliana Gutierrez. They're spelled Juliana. This Juliana Farias is with 1 N, and Juliana Gutierrez has 2 N's. Like it matters to you guys. It matters to me. I like to get their names right. Swing and a miss to Ramirez. Again, doing great. She's got 1 more inning to try to stop the power hitters of Skidmore-Tynan in the top of the 7th. 1-1 the count, 2 outs, and Farias on first, courtesy runner. Two and 1 the count, 2 outs. That's tapped up to center. Nobody grabs it. Farias all the way to third, and Ramirez with a single. Avery Gonzalez done great at second, and it's like they're finding a little gap there, like the Bermuda Triangle there in that shallow right center, more like shallow center, and it's just dropping. The runner will take second. That's Ramirez on second. Farias on third. Both in scoring position. Yorktown defeating Woodsboro baseball 14-3. Credit to Game Changer. 14-3, Yorktown defeated Woodsboro. That goes back. Staying alive. Avery Gonzalez staying alive. Runners again. Farias on third. And that's up in the air. That is right there is Natalie Ramirez for the third out. So Skidmore-Tynan with 1 opportunity to try to get a missed a run. I apologize. I don't have the official score anyway. The one that matters is out on the board. Okay, so I didn't see a run come in. I'm trusting the board, and there shouldn't be a run. Let's go back now. gullible. I said, how did a run come in? And it went to 6 out there. I put it to 6 because I believed it, but I'm kind of believing it haphazardly. And I'm like, wait a minute. But before I could say anything, it went back to 5. So here I am with egg on my face. But it's 5-2. You guys are probably wondering what's going on. But no runs come in. So now the box score reads for Skidmore-Tynan, which has one more chance. In the top of the 7th, the box score at the top says 2-0-0-0-0-0. On the bottom, 0-3-0-1-1-0. So we've got a 5-2 Agua Dulce lead. And all they have to do is hold the Lady Cats to under 2 or less, and they don't have to bat in the bottom of the 7th because there would be no need. Skidmore-Tynan needs to put up at least 3 runs to at least send it to the bottom of the 7th. But on your mind, you want to put up a million runs, okay? You just want to put all the runs you can up because they know, Skidmore-Tynan Lady Cats, that Agua Dulce is going to come and bat in the bottom of the 7th. But again, right now, that's what they're hoping for, that they can push them to bat. So here is Ali Hernandez. Ali Hernandez for Skidmore-Tynan. Down by 3. The cool thing about this sport is it's not over till the last strike, the last out. And you can have, you got a, and that's a tapper out to right. It does land. And a single for Ali Hernandez. And now Kylie Kinney will come to the plate. So 1 run. You got to start counting now. Ali Hernandez represents the 3rd run. They got to get to 5 at least.
Hey, nobody hurt. Let's go.
Ali Hernandez at first. Nobody out. And now Kylie Kinney.
Come on, baby. Come on. Let's go. Watch your butt. Watch your butt. Don't worry about first base. Watch your butt.
Let's go.
Allen comes right back.
Got one on it. Go ahead, Buck.
Good pitch there by Ramirez. At the Duran is coaching on 3rd, and West is on 1st, and Gonzalez coaching from the dugout. And that's a foul back to the right. 0-2, so Jalissa Ramirez up 0-2 on the batter. Justine Hill gets a few softballs for the umpire. Save a trip. Ali Hernandez on 1st. Kylie Kinney at the plate. 0-2 the count. With a wind gust of 50 miles per hour. That ball's not going out of the park, I think, tonight. It's coming right at us. Strike 3. 1 down. Danny Munoz to the plate. Danny Munoz. Swing and a miss. Won the count, 1 out, 1 runner on. Foul ball. So quickly, Jalissa Ramirez up 0-2 on the batter, Danny Munoz, and Ali Hernandez on 1st. We need runners right now. fielding of Agua Dulce has been incredible tonight.
Come on, baby. Go, baby. That's swing, baby. Come on, baby.
Very few have needed to go outside the infield.
Good girl.
There goes, and everyone's saying you don't need to worry about the Ali Hernandez because that's just the third run. You got it. You get. So what that basically means is if you have an opportunity, a shot, high probability of going to first, you take that and get 2 outs.
Let's go. One more, Jim. Let's go. Come on, baby.
They have a little padding right now with a 5-2 lead. Do the Lady Longhorns. Danny Munoz, 1-2 the count. Here's Ramirez in the windup. Got her looking. 2 outs. Leonance trying to keep the Lady Cats alive. 2 outs. Ali Hernandez on second. And down to 1 out. And you got Leonance up there trying to get on base and bring the tying run to the plate. Strike 1. Basically what that means, you have Eliza Garcia on deck. So if Leonance gets on base, the tying run would come to the plate, which in the perfect scenario, you hit a home run and you got a tie game. Swing and a miss.
Let's go. One more.
Down to a strike. Jalissa Ramirez trying to throw a 6-inning shutout, giving up 2 runs in the top of the first. It's not giving up anything since then. And there it is. The final from Agua Dulce. Lady Longhorns will go to 5-2. Skidmore-Tynan Lady Cats will go to 2-4. And we'll be back at ST Lady Cat Nation on Friday night against Port Aransas. Take my little picture here. And that'll do it. Thank you for joining me at ST Lady Cat Nation. This is Amador Ramirez. Have yourself a good night and God bless.